What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Kelly Matthews. Today, we are going to talk about all things sprint training. So I'm going to walk you through a full warm-up, and we're going to go through what my typical sprint workout looks like. A lot of people are looking to get into sprinting, and I know it can be really intimidating and hard to dip your toe into. So we're going to go over everything you need to know today, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why sprint training is special and why it's beneficial. First, what is sprint training? Sprint training is considered an all-out effort for 30 seconds or under with a long rest period, 2 minutes or even more. So the idea is that every rep, you're going max effort and you're able to repeat the output of the first rep. The reason why sprint training is something that you want to incorporate into your routine is that it's unique in that it's anabolic rather than catabolic, which means that it facilitates muscle growth. It will increase muscle protein synthesis. So if you're eating your protein, it's going to help you build muscle. It also really helps develop type 2 muscle fibers. And as we age, we start to lose those muscle fibers. And it's truly, if you don't use it, you lose it. So as you get older, if you're not sprinting or doing any jumping or plyos, your type 2 muscle fibers are really going to start to diminish. So this is a great way to train those. And it's time efficient. You can do a sprint workout in less than 30 minutes and you're going to get a lot out of it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through a full dynamic warm-up. It's really important that before you sprint, you do an extensive warm-up. It's very explosive. And if you're going max effort, you really want to make sure that your muscles, your tendons are all good to go before you start sprinting. I'm going to have Director of Sports Performance here at the Collective put me through my full dynamic warm-up and kind of explain to you why you would do it this way.
Okay, starting off, we're going to get Kelly doing some forward lunges. Kelly, go ahead and give me 5 lunges forward on each leg. Kelly's doing a great job bringing her back knee all the way down to the ground. You want to get through full range of motion. And then reverse lunge back to your starting point. Next, Kelly is going to move from instead of front to back, she's going to go side to side. Big lateral step out to the side. She's going to bring the back foot to meet the front foot. Give me 5 out this way, and then 5 back the other way. All right, cool. So next we're going to move on to some extensive plyometrics. Kelly touched on it. Sprinting is the most intense thing that you can do. So we want to prep the body as much as possible to be prepared for those intense impacts. Kelly, give us 5 yards, pogo hops, light and springy, like you're jumping over a jump rope. Perfect. Same thing, now we're going to do lateral hops. Fantastic. And then to finish up our extensive pogos, give me 45-degree hops. When you get to 5 yards, you're going to come back in reverse. Perfect. All right, excellent. So extensive hops are completed. Her feet, her ankles, her calves are going to be prepped and ready to go. Now we're going to start doing some stuff that's going to look much more similar to actual sprinting. So next up, we're going to have Kelly do high knees. She's going to go 10 yards, and then on the way back, she's going to do butt kicks. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is an A skip, which is essentially an exaggerated skip. Think skipping, but you're going to be bringing the knee up a little higher than you normally would. Kelly's going to go 15 yards and then walk back to the start line. Great. And the next thing that we have here is called quick times. So when you're sprinting, your hamstrings, your calves, your glutes all play a really important role in moving you forward. And we want to gradually get those tissues prepared before you really take off. So quick times are going to be an easy way to get the hamstrings warmed up. And it kind of looks like if you fast forwarded a penguin. Okay, so your arms are staying real low next to your hips and your feet are moving real fast. Kelly's going to do that for 10 yards. It's actually a lot harder than it looks. And then she's going to walk back to the start line.
As we get deeper into this warm-up, you're going to feel a little stupid. There's like certain movements that are just difficult and are going to feel silly at first, but you kind of just have to get over that. Have to remember how to do these.
Real quick. Quick. Yep. Cool. Okay, so those were quick times. The next thing she's gonna do are prime times. So it's the quick times we just did, straight legs, except she's trying to cover a lot of ground and she's gonna be moving much more quickly. Next up, we have power skips, and it's just like it sounds like you're skipping, but as powerfully as you can. And with these, you're trying to go for height. So Kelly, give us an exaggerated skip, get as high as you can. Nice. The last skip that we're gonna do is a skip for distance. I encourage you to start with a smaller skip, grow into covering as much ground as possible, and then maybe on your way back down, you can start from the very biggest skip that you've got and finish through skipping as long as you can. Start easy, get rhythm, now push out. Yeah. Big. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so next up, Kelly's gonna do 3 warm-up sprints. Now look, some of you may not have access to turf or a lot of space. You can do all of these things on a treadmill. Even with the warm-up sprints, we're gonna go 80% max effort, 90% and 100. So you're just gonna sprint your first sprint, not as hard as you can. Then you're gonna do one a little harder than that. And then your last warm-up sprint will be as hard as possible. First sprint here is gonna be about 80%. Kelly's going 10 yards. Go.
Thank you. That's a wrap on Tim Riley training. We're going to go in and do this full workout on a treadmill. Ideally, you'll do your sprints on solid ground, on a track, on grass, or just out in a parking lot somewhere. It's going to be the best for your sprint mechanics, and just all the things we talked about are going to translate a lot better to that. Most of you guys are probably not going to have that option, especially in the winter. I do a lot of my sprints on the Assault treadmill, which is a self-propelled treadmill. So as you run, the belt speeds up. And not all gyms are going to have this treadmill either. But if you do have one, pretty much all you need to know is it goes at your pace. So as you speed up, the belt is going to speed up. As you slow down, the belt is going to slow down. If you're doing this workout on a traditional treadmill, one that you set the pace and the belt just goes, I would suggest turning your incline up a little bit and getting comfortable, kind of getting onto the belt and getting off the belt pretty quickly, because these need to be max effort sprints. So you don't really want to be going at sub-maximal effort, defeats the purpose. You can also do this workout on a bike, on a skier, on a rower. What matters is that you are doing max effort bouts of that sprint, whatever modality it is. As long as you're getting that same stimulus, it's going to work for you. So the structure of this workout is really super simple. We are going to do a 15-second sprint, and we're going to take a 2-minute rest or more. The qualifiers for the rest are basically just, do you feel rested? If you still feel tired after 90 seconds, 2 minutes, rest more. You want to come back to your next rep feeling fresh and ready to sprint again. Starting off, I would say start with 4 to 5 sprints, and then you can work your way up somewhere around 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is probably the max I would do in one workout. And that's after consistently sprinting for a while. So today we're going to stick with 5. I'm going to work up to my fastest pace as quickly as possible, hold that for that 15 seconds, and then I'm going to take my long rest period. All right, so if you're going as hard as you possibly can, you should need a decent amount of recovery after this. While I rest and breathe heavily in your ear, let's talk about just some small form tips. I am not an Olympic sprinter. I'm not a sprinting expert. So if you're looking for real specifics on sprint training, this is probably not the place to go. But some things that I find really help my general population clients. Number 1, with your stride, you want your foot to strike underneath your hips. What we see often is a big reach and a pull, whether you're on the treadmill or outside. It's the same thing. So when you drive your knee up, your foot goes way out in front of you, and then you end up pulling with your hamstring, and you're probably going to end up with some discomfort there, and it's just not an efficient stride. Instead, what you want to aim to do is drive that knee up, land it right underneath you, and push. So you're really pushing out of your stride. So you may need to back off on your speed a little bit in order to get that stride down. But again, you don't want your foot landing way out in front of you. You want it landing right underneath you. The second thing is using your arms. Gotta use your arms. I see a lot of people with just like Gumby arms when they run. What you want to think about doing is keeping them pretty close in by your sides. You should feel your biceps brushing right up against your rib cage. And naturally, we're going to get into that opposite arm, opposite leg position. And you just want to keep that tight and really pump. You'll find that when you use your arms more, you will go faster. The speed of your arms will dictate the speed of your legs more than you think it will. So those 2 things are a great place to start if you're new to sprinting. You also want to think about landing on your forefoot. I should have mentioned that before. So heel striking is kind of the other side of that coin of overreaching, is you'll end up landing on your heel rather than on your midfoot and forefoot. So if you feel your heels hitting all the time, you're probably running a little flat-footed or extending out too far. So stay on your forefoot, land your foot directly under your hip, pump your arms. All right, y'all, that's a wrap on our sprint day. Hope you learned something, hope you had some fun, and if you decide to dip your toe into sprint training, make sure to remember some of these tips and keep it simple. If you want to hear more from me, please subscribe to my channel, or you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Kelly L. Matthews, and I'll see you guys next week.